Hey everyone! About a month ago, Kendrick and I represented New Camp at an event called the Overland Expo. Now, what the heck is overlanding, you may wonder? Well,
overlanding is an approach to self-reliant travel where the journey is almost more important than the destination. Overlanders tend to use four-wheel drive vehicles or motorcycles that allow them to get to more remote places, travel for months or longer at a time, and find themselves camping more often than not. To many overlanders, it's a way of life that allows them to see and do things that require getting off the beaten path. Overlanding is a way to get out and experience the world around you.
now there's a lot of great companies out there catering to the overland crowd, so the choices for a rig can be kind of daunting. If you're interested in overlanding but aren't really sure where to start, you're in luck, because Kendrick and I did some of the legwork for you. Here's a list we've put together of some of the most common overlanding setups you'll see on the road, and what we feel are the pros and cons of each. Alright guys, let's go check out and see what this expo has to offer. Our first category is quite intense. Tense.
The most popular tent option amongst overlanders seems to be the rooftop tent. Now this is a pop-up tent that mounts to a roof rack that's on top of your vehicle. They're lightweight, they collapse down to a fairly small size, and they don't affect your mobility. In other words, you can go wherever your vehicle can go. However, with rooftop tents, you have to set them up every night. You can't leave them up during the day whenever you want to go exploring. You are in a soft-sided sleeping shelter, which can be affected by extreme weather and wildlife. And you have to climb up and down a ladder to the roof of your vehicle when you want to go to sleep at night, and every time you have to get up to go to the bathroom during the middle of the night.
There is also a tow-behind trailer with a built-in rooftop tent. Now this isn't a camper, this is really just a trailer that has a rooftop tent on it. The benefit is that they tend to have a lot higher clearance, they're lighter weight, and with an articulated hitch you can pretty much take the thing anywhere. You also have a lot more space for storage, such as your propane, your battery, and other utilities. However, you're still limited in the same factors that you would be with a regular soft-sided roof tent. While we're on the subject, I saw a really unique tent while we were at the expo. It's basically an insulated reflective tent, so it will either reflect the sun when you're in the hot weather to keep the tent cool, or it'll trap the heat in when you're in cold weather. I'm not really sure where this fits in with the overlanding crowd, but it's definitely a lightweight, affordable option if you're looking to get into it. Next category, let's talk van life.
Van life! Woo!
You've all seen the community of van lifers growing over the last couple of years, and it's totally a legit way to travel. But this can be anything from your soccer mom van all the way up to a four-wheel drive, high-clearance sprinter van. Now, if you're just wanting something to travel in, vans can be great because they're super stealth in the city. But if overlanding is your priority, then you might have to shell out a lot more dough for something a little more off-road capable. In general, a van is going to offer you more comfort than a tent, but also limit your mobility. Next is one of my favorites, truck campers!
Yay! Now, a lot of the truck camper crowd seems to have small pickup trucks, like the Toyota Tacoma, which means they have small truck campers. Small truck campers are great because they tend to be lightweight and they have a low profile, which keeps your center of gravity pretty low. However, that low profile comes from soft sides and a pop-up, which I tend to steer away from because there's the chance for mildew, leaks, and other problems that arise with moving parts. If you have a bigger pickup truck, like a 3/4 or full ton, then you have the ability to go with a much bigger camper. New Camp's Cirrus truck camper was a big hit at the Overland Expo because of its fully hard-sided body, its indoor wet bathroom, and many other amenities that you just don't see in smaller pickup truck campers.
While we're on the subject of truck campers, let's talk about real campers. If you're wanting the comforts of a camper, you're still going to have a lot of options in size, which is probably going to be determined by your tow vehicle. We saw quite a few options for everything from a motorcycle to a giant truck. On the motorcycle end of things, there were a lot of options from tiny miniature teardrops to luggage carriages that have been converted into pop-up tents. Then of course you're going to have your traditional teardrop, but probably a little more off-road if you're wanting to go overland. There's also larger campers that are made for off-grid camping, such as the Kimberley camper van, which is made in Australia. And of course, there's always the classic tag and tab, which we're a little partial to. In general, the benefit to towing a trailer is that you can set up camp in one area, unhook, and take your vehicle and go exploring. And with the larger campers, you also have a hard-sided living space that's going to include your bathroom, your kitchen, and your sleeping area. The downside is always going to be you're towing something. And last but not least, this list would not be complete without mentioning the ridiculous, over-the-top mansions on wheels meant for basically the 1%. While I have to admit the novelty of these vehicles is pretty awesome, they're going to set you back a cool $300,000 to $1.5 million. Now that you know a little more about the types of overlanding rigs that are out there, it's your turn to do a little work. First, I want you to sit down and answer one important question for me. What does overlanding mean to you? Where do you want to go? What types of roads do you want to go down? How long are you going to want to be off-grid? And what kinds of amenities are important to you? These answers will help you define what kind of rig is best for you.
For us, our tab boondock has been more than enough to take us everywhere we wanted to go. Now for us, we have no desire to go out on any rock crawling or anything like that, but we do enjoy going out on some pretty rough roads. So the tab boondock has been the perfect compromise between comfort and off-road capability.
So as you can see, there's a lot of options to overlanding because it's kind of a broad definition. But just make sure that whatever setup you choose is right for you. Make sure that it only helps you on your adventures and doesn't hinder you. So here's to experiencing the road less traveled. Love and light.
One take wonder, huh? Two take wonder over here.